What is up, guys? Welcome back into Bogen's Bets. This is the second episode, or second show of Bogen's Bets, brought to you by our friends over at mybookie.ag. You can go over, you can use promo code JKDTR. It will double your first deposit up to $1,000. Highly recommend you head on over there. They are a proud sponsor of both Downtown Rams, my company, and this YouTube channel. So, for those of you that checked out yesterday, for those of you that didn't and are here today or are watching this after the fact, well, you might have wanted to check out yesterday because we went 9-4, and I'm going to take that very well. I'm very happy with that. Obviously, would love to go undefeated, but we went 9-4 yesterday. We hit on a bunch of picks. Definitely I mean, we aced hockey. Hockey was very easy for us yesterday, okay? The plays of the day, Dwayne Dedman, 3,700, got you 39.1 FanDuel fantasy points. That was definitely a play. The Rangers, they covered the 1.5 puck line. Maple Leafs money line. They scored 8 goals yesterday. Incredible performance by them. We had the over 5.5 VGK and Anaheim. That went way over. I think that went over 10. And then we got the Kevin Porter over 34 on Prize Picks. Was unfortunately not to be. He suffered an injury along with Christian Wood right after I raved about them. He had 18.9 points in the first half, left the game, unfortunately. So sorry about that. If you played him, I can't predict injuries. I can't see that coming. That was a really good matchup. He had a really good opportunity. Shout out to Jay Sean Tate, who played extremely well in relief. In addition to that, we also hit on the Wizards, -3.5. The Hawks money line, the Celtics -3. Mavericks -3.5, Rockets money line, Hornets +9. We only missed on the Clippers -5.5, Miami Cleveland going over 206, the Heat -2.5, and the Nuggets -8. Those were our misses. We went 9-4. We're gonna keep having the tally. We're gonna keep things going. What's up, Will? Thank you so much for joining. Be sure to tell your friends that we are live. Anybody that is a sports betting fanatic, anybody that is into, any sort of daily fantasy, that is what this show is all about. And I'm coming to you before lock. I'm going to try to do this every single day in addition to my other shows, whether it be about the Rams, whether it be about the MCU, whether it be about betting. They're going to be separate shows. I want to separate them. So this is the betting show, Bogen's Bets. So we had nearly a 70% hit rate yesterday, so let's see if we can make it better today. Starting off with the hockey slate because, well, hockey starts at 7. I got to get those things in because I think we're going to go past lock for hockey. Today, NBA is going to start 7:30. Hockey's at 7. So let's dive right into it. We have the Avalanche taking on the Canadiens. The Avalanche have the man, the myth, the legend back, Nathan McKinnon. They have Mikko Rantanen back. They have, of course, Cale Makar and, Landeskog. I mean, they're looking good now, okay? They're looking good, but they're coming off a loss, and that's the thing. They're coming off a loss against Toronto, back-to-back here. They're playing. I do really like the Avalanche. I like the Avalanche, to be honest with you, with the puck line of -1.5. I think they're going to blow out the Canadiens. I know Jake Allen is in net. I think Jake Allen's a very good goaltender, and he's played very well, but the Canadiens are just not that great. They have struggled mightily this season. They've dealt with some injuries, don't get me wrong, and I don't know when Carey Price will come back or not, but Jake Allen has not been the issue. It's just the fact he's going up against, for the longest time, I mean, they still are missing Byram, the defenseman, the young defenseman there in Colorado. But right now, they're in great shape, and they're healthy again. I like Colorado, -1.5. That's a +130, odds line on my bookie. So I'm going to go with Colorado Avalanche. We're going to say they'll win by like 4-2, maybe 5-2, but they'll cover that puck line for you. The 11-7-1 Avalanche taking down the 16-2 Canadians. Moving on, we have the Blues taking on the Lightning, and we do have Andrei Vasilevsky in net. He is one of the best goaltenders in all of hockey. And, this will be an interesting game because the Blues are, a top 10 team when it comes to shots on net. This is a team, they're definitely liking to, control the pace, go up tempo a little bit. But Tampa is also that team, and they can get hot. You have guys like Hedman, you can do that. And so, I think in this game, the money line, I'm leaning towards here. I'm not going to really deal with the puck line. I think the Blues can compete. I do think Vasilevsky could win this thing 1-0, 2-0. But I'm not going to touch the puck line here. I'm going to go with the Lightning winning this game. Money line, it's not going to win you a ton of money. 160 on the money line odds, but I like the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight to win with Vasilevsky in net. And the other 7 o'clock game, actually we have a bunch, but another 7 o'clock game, we have the 8-11-3 Sabres taking on the 15-4-3 Panthers. Bobrovsky is in net for Florida. In this game, the odds over on my bookie, we have the Sabres plus 100 puck line, and we have the Panthers minus 120 for the minus 1.5 puck line. The money line, it's pointless. If, the Panthers are probably going to win this game, and I think with Bobrovsky in net, I feel good about them winning by more than a goal. So I'm going to go with the minus 1.5 puck line here, the spread for the Panthers at home, taking on Buffalo. I feel really good about that. That might come back to bite me because, Florida just looks too obvious in this one, and sometimes the obvious ones are what you miss. But I really do like Florida tonight against the Sabres. The Sabres have played some inspiring hockey, but I do think that Florida, being one of the best teams in the NHL, they're going to win tonight, especially with Bobrovsky on net. Moving on to the Blackhawks-Capitals game. We do know the Blackhawks have been a train wreck this year. The Capitals simply have not. Ovechkin has 19 goals. Not many in the league are doing what Ovechkin's doing right now. 19 goals, 18 assists. He's got 37 points on the season. He's among the league leaders, the Draisaitl's, the McDavids, that type of guy. So he can get off in a hurry and just change the complexion of a game. But looking tonight, you have the Capitals taking on the Blackhawks. When I'm looking at this game, I'm thinking, you have the Capitals at home. I'm thinking that, there's a good chance that with the Capitals at home, they're going to win this game, right? That there's probably a good chance that that's going to happen. But, here's the thing. When I look at this game, you look at the odds, and the odds are going to tell you straight up that the Capitals have a plus 125 puck line for minus 1.5. They just have to win by 2 goals at least. I know I'm going heavy on the puck lines tonight, but I'm also going to go heavy here on the Capitals. I'm going to go with the puck line, and I'm going to go with the over of 6 points. I think there's 6 goals. I do think that the Capitals end up winning this game big, and I think that the Blackhawks can score 1 or 2, probably a 5-2 affair, which would get you over the 6. So that's where I'm going to go there. So moving on, trying to get through hockey before lock. We have the Senators taking on the Hurricanes. The Senators, of course, aren't the best team. I do like Batherson, but the Hurricanes are one of the best teams in hockey. This seems very chalky. I'm not going to lie. This seems like a very chalk-filled type of night. There's a lot of favorites going up against teams that really no one would expect to win. With Carolina right now, what you're looking at, the probable starter is Ranta. He's basically won 3 out of the 4 games he's started. He's got a 2.36 average there. He's having a solid year, but they haven't really counted on him as much as, say, Freddie Anderson. So, there's a chance. There's certainly a chance that Ottawa could, compete. They did it against the Avalanche the other night. But I'm just not going to go against Carolina and the way they're playing. The puck line isn't going to generate much of anything. If Ottawa can stay under that 2-goal thing there that can win you some money. But I'm going to say that Carolina wins this, and I'm going to go with the puck line of -1.5 because the money line is just, I mean, negative 345 is just not, like, the odds aren't good. So I'm not going to go with that. We'll go with the puck line there, Hurricanes. And then on to our 7:30 game, the Sharks and Islanders. We have the 12-9-1 Sharks taking on the 5-10-2 Islanders. The Islanders have just not had their best type of season. I think, a lot was expected of them, and they just have not. They've completely dropped the ball, to be honest with you. So the Islanders right now have been a little bit of a shock about how bad that they've played. However, they are at home against the Sharks, 7:30 slot. There's a puck line here. If they win by more than 2, it's plus 180. I don't know. I tend to feel like this is going to be the Sharks, a road win here. There's been a lot of home stuff that I've been, going with. So I'm going to go with the Sharks here, plus 120 money line. I like the Sharks a lot more. And the Sharks have been playing well, and that's the thing when it comes down to is maybe the Islanders will turn this thing around when Varlamov comes back, if he comes back. But right now, the Sharks have won their last 2 straight games, Blackhawks and Devils, both on the road. They're, trying to finish up this road trip on a high note. They're playing good hockey. They beat, the Hurricanes. That wasn't that long ago. So I'm going to go with the Sharks here on the road. And I'm going to go with the money line on that one. Going to the 8 o'clock games, we'll start off with the New Jersey Devils 9-7-4 taking on the 15-6-1 Wild. The Wild have been a serious contender this season. They've played some really good hockey. Kaprizov has been the focal point of that, but let's not forget they had a 2-game losing streak against the Lightning and the Panthers. They lost those 2 games back to back, and then the Devils, ironically enough, in a 3-2 overtime win, they ended up starting that winning streak using the Devils. They beat the Jets 7-1. They beat the Lightning 4-2. They beat the Coyotes 5-2. And then all of a sudden, now they're playing the Devils again. And it's, it's not in New Jersey. It's in Minnesota. So, looking at this, I'll probably just start off right now. I'll say, I like the Devils in this game, believe it or not. The Devils have to get back in their winning ways, and I think that they are a tough team. They just got Jack Hughes back. To me, they've had a bunch of tough goes at it. It's been, tough sledding. They're coming off a brutal loss against the Sharks, 5-2. They beat the Flyers. They lost to the Predators. They lost to the Wild in a close game. I'm going to go with them to beat the Wild outright and win that money line. So I have the Devils tonight taking down Minnesota. And I see Geezer. What is up, Jake? Found you through Tom Grossi. Today is my birthday. Can I get a happy birthday? You certainly can, Geezer. Thank you so much for finding your way over here. Big fan of Tom. It was great collabing with him, and I appreciate that you would come over here and support my channel. And I wish you the best of your birthday, and I hope everything that you wish for comes true. So that's what I will say about that. Thank you so much. So we have the Devils winning the money line there. And then the Bruins taking on the Predators. 11-8 Bruins taking on the 12-9-1 Predators. Predators started off a little slow. I wasn't sure what we were going to get out of them. And, lately it's been like they win every other game. I mean, you look at, the Blue Jackets. They have a really impressive 6-0 shutout win over the Blue Jackets. They lose to the Avalanche. They beat the Devils. They lose to Vegas. They beat the Anaheim Ducks. It's been like every other game. And then a little bit of, a while ago, they had a Stars, Blues, and Coyotes 3-game winning streak there that they ripped off. So, I'm going to say this right now. The way Matt Duchene's playing, it seems like he's going to score a goal every night. The Preds, they are going to Boston. Boston right now, the way they're playing, I mean, I saw them. I was at a Devils Bruins game not long ago. They're playing some good hockey, but they're also kind of the every other game. You know, they have a hard time ripping off wins. I mean, you look at the 3-game winning streak. It started with the game I was at against the Devils. They beat the Devils 5-2. They beat the Canadiens 5-2. The Flyers 5-2. They lose to the Flames 4-0. They beat the Sabres. They lose to the Rangers. They beat the Canucks. They lose to the Red Wings. They don't lose 2 games back-to-back very often. They just don't. So I do like Boston tonight against the Nashville Predators. On the road against the Nashville Predators. And I like Boston money line. I'm not going to deal with the puck line here. I'm going to go with the money line. I like the Bruins to win on the road against the Predators. So I have the Bruins there. And then we have the Columbus Blue Jackets taking on the Dallas Stars. I really like the Stars tonight. I think this has a chance to be a blowout. So I'm going to go with the puck line, -1.5. I really like the way Jason Robertson has been playing. It took him a little bit to get healthy, but now that he's back and he's ready to go, he's in the lineup. You got Roope Hintz in there, Joe Pavelski, playing good hockey, and I just think Jake Oettinger, I think he's going to be enough in net tonight. So I'm going to go with the Stars, -1.5. And I'm going to go with the puck line there. And I think they win outright. They win in a blowout. So what's up, Old Man Ghost? Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. All right. So we got Dallas winning in a blowout. And then we have the Columbus Blue Jackets. We already did that. Then we have the Calgary Flames taking on the Los Angeles Kings. And I believe that is the last game of the slate for hockey. And then we'll go over to the NBA. For hockey, we have the Flames 13-4-5 taking on the 9-8-4 Kings. Kings got off to a hot start, but lately they haven't been the best team. They just had a huge losing streak where they lost 5 straight. They beat the Sens. They lost to the Ducks in 5-4 fashion. I don't know what's going on with the Kings, especially now that they got Drew Doughty back. They seem relatively healthy. It's a surprise to me that all of a sudden that they're not playing as well, especially now that they have the health going on and they have guys back. But, the Flames are just not a team that I'm about to bet against here, even on the road. So I'm going to go with the Flames, and I'm going to go with the puck line here. I'm going to go with the puck line plus 165 on my bookie. So book it. I have the Calgary Flames taking down the Kings tonight. At 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and that is that for the hockey slate. Before I get into that, though, just real quick before we leave hockey, I'm going to put up my FanDuel lineup. So my FanDuel lineup tonight, I like Nathan MacKinnon. I like Dawson Mercer. I like that second line a ton for New Jersey on the road against Minnesota. They've been generating a ton of points as of late. You look at what Mercer's doing. Jesper Bratt has been incredible. So has Andreas Janssen. So those 3 guys on that second line for New Jersey, that is the line to watch. I'm a big fan of stacking at least 3 guys on a line, for a lineup for FanDuel. So I have those guys. As you can see, you can get some good value. You look at Dawson Mercer, it is a steal at 4,700. So I like that. Bratt's at 5,300. And then you have Janssen at 4,400. They've just been too consistent for me not to go that route. But another thing is I want to get that nasty line of Colorado because I think they have a great matchup against Montreal. I know Jake Allen's in net. We talked about that. He's having a good season. But I'm a big, big fan of going up against that Montreal Canadiens defense. And I think when you look at having Nathan MacKinnon and Mikko Rantanen and having Landeskog all in your lineup, to me, that's a no-brainer. So that's why I decided to go with Johansson at 6,800. I don't think he's the best goalie in the world. Yes, I had Vasilevsky in my lineup before that, but I'm trying to fit in what I believe will be the highest scoring line of the entire slate. And so by doing that, I'm also stacking Colorado's goalie. He's in tonight. Kemper's out. And I know he just got absolutely obliterated by the tune of 8 goals given up, to Toronto last night. but he's going up against the Canadians. And I really feel like that line has a great matchup. And I feel like that line, you may not get a ton of points tonight. Keep in mind, you only get 8 if you win. You get 16 if you get a shutout, because it's another 8 if you get a shutout. I'm not going for a shutout here. I'm going for a simple win. I like my odds. I have Rantanen, McKinnon, and Landeskog on the team. So I'm feeling good about that. So that's why I have him there. I like Jensen. He's been playing well as of late, averaging over 10 points per game in the last 3. And then Boquist, he's back. I believe he was hurt early on in the season, so now he's back. He was part of the Columbus Blackhawks deal. They traded him away. The Blackhawks did for Seth Jones, who is one of the best defensemen offensively in the league. Boquist at 3,500 is, you can't pass him up there. So that's my FanDuel line. If you guys want to copy that, you're more than welcome to. But I definitely do have some confidence in that line tonight. And that's the last of the hockey talk for now. We'll move on to the NBA, and we'll kick it off with our FanDuel NBA line, which I'm liking a lot tonight. And I may tweak this at some point. Lock is at 7:30. I may try to get Vucevic in there. It's tough, but I do really like having Giannis in the lineup again tonight going against Toronto. I think it's a solid matchup. I love Dejounte Murray. The guy is a guaranteed over 8 rebound a game guy, over 10 assists a game guy. I mean, he is so valuable. He has turned himself into a close to $10,000 player, and he's worth every penny. He's consistent. He is the focal point and, the cornerstone, in my opinion, of that Spurs franchise. I'm a big fan of him. And to me, at 9,800, no-brainer there. CJ McCollum, in my opinion, without, you're not going to have, Damian Lillard tonight. So CJ McCollum's a good one. But I also like Anthony Simons at 5,200. He's going to start. Emmanuel Quickley's been playing some good basketball, can really get hot from 3. I like him as a really cheap option at 4,100. And then Dylan Brooks, it's a matter of the fact that, look, Ja Morant's hurt. They're trying to figure out a way to get scoring chances and find opportunities and who can take over. And so far, it's been a mixed bag. You have him. You have Desmond Bane from TCU. You have all those guys. I like Brooks tonight. I feel like Brooks has a good matchup, as well as Darius Bazley, a really a good matchup against Memphis. And in my opinion, like a cheaper option, a guy that can get you, around 30 points, which is what you can ask for 4,500. And then, this one was tough to me, but Jay Crowder has actually been really consistently staying above 20. He's going against the Pistons. I like the matchup a lot. So I went with Crowder there. That way I could afford Nurkic, who's at 6,700. He's probably going to have around 40 to 50 fantasy points tonight. I'm expecting a big night from Portland. We'll get into that in a sec. What's up, Terrence? Yes, I will be talking about the Saints and Cowboys game as well. We'll get into that at the end of the show. I do have picks for that as well. I believe the Rams are by 13.5, but since I would never go over by 10 due to running the clock out, no bet for me. Old Man Ghost, I actually have the Rams covering that. I think they are going to beat the Jaguars, but I hear you. It's a lot. That spread is ridiculous. I mean, it's you never feel comfortable doing that spread. So that's I hear you there. So yeah, that is my NBA FanDuel lineup there. I'll leave it up if in case anybody wants to copy it, and we'll go through the NBA slate and we'll pick the games because we picked the we picked the NHL games. Now we got the NBA games. We're starting off 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. We get the 14-8 Bulls taking on the 11-10 Knicks. I remember when these two matched up earlier in the year when they were both had at least one loss or undefeated at the time. So this is another interesting matchup. It's back in New York. Right now, Chicago, they are the betting favorite, I believe, at 2 points. I'm going to go and check that right now over on my bookie. Yes, -2. They are the favorite. I'm going to take Chicago here. I think this is going to be a very good game upcoming from Nikola Vucevic, who over 32 games against the Knicks averages a double-double per game. and it's really not close. We're talking about 18 points and 11 rebounds in those games against the Knicks. So he loves playing against the Knicks. It works out well for him. They're on the road. I don't care. I'm going to take the Bulls. -2 gives you a minus 105 betting odd there. I'll take that. Next, we have Milwaukee taking on Toronto. Milwaukee are 5-point favorites. Toronto's 5-point underdogs. Toronto's 9-3. They are absolutely terrible at home for whatever reason. They have won 7 of their 9 games they've won on the road, 2 of which they've won at home. So they're 2-8 on the road, or 2-8 at home. They've lost their last 4 of the last 5 games. I don't really like Toronto in this game at all. I just feel like Milwaukee got going, and now it's going to be really tough to stop them. They're on this massive winning streak. They're winners of at least 9 straight, or 8 straight. So, for a team that was initially 6-8, now they're 14-8. I'm going to take Milwaukee, continue doing their business here. They go on the road, and I'll take them -4.5 easily over the Raptors. Going to the 8 o'clock game, we have the Thunder taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. Thunder are 6-15, 2-8 on the road. The Grizzlies are 11-10, 7-5 at home. I like the Grizzlies in this game. I understand John Morant's out, but they've rallied around, and they've won the last 2 games, Kings and Raptors. I understand they were blown out by the Raptors initially and the Hawks, but 2 winners of 2 straight. They're trying to find their identity without John Morant. You look at Dylan Brooks, you look at Tyus Jones, DeAnthony Melton, Desmond Bane, as I mentioned earlier, Jaren Jackson Jr. And so I do feel as though the Memphis Grizzlies have a lot to offer here. I think that they do win this game at home against the Thunder. So where are our odds here? The Grizzlies are -11.5 point favorites. I'm going to take Oklahoma City Thunder, though. I think the Grizzlies win the game. I'm going to take the Thunder plus 11.5. That spread is ridiculous. I'm definitely not going to take the Grizzlies missing their best player at -11.5 favorites. I'll take the Thunder. I like the way they're playing. They'll win this game, but I think the Thunder cover at plus 11.5. That is a massive line. Especially for a team that is just 11-10. The Grizzlies haven't exactly dominated, so that was a little surprising for me to see that. I'll definitely take the Oklahoma City Thunder to cover. So we move on to the last 2 games of the slate. It's a quiet night, right? Hockey, it's a big slate. NBA, not so much. It is a Thursday, of course. So 9 p.m. Eastern time, we have the Pistons, 4-17, taking on the Suns. The Suns are -12. I'm going to hit that all day. The Suns might be the best team in basketball right now. Them or the Warriors. It doesn't matter who you pick. You're probably right either way. They're both great. The Pistons, they've won 4 games. They're 2-9 on the road. Suns are 9-2 at home. No, I'm not going to pick the Pistons. I like their players. I like Jeremy Grant a lot, but it's not going to be. The way the Suns are playing, they really can't be stopped. That's just what it comes down to. They beat the Warriors. I mean, they are on a ridiculous 17-game winning streak. No, they're not going to lose their first game in the last 18 against, the Detroit Pistons, especially at home. So I will take not only them winning, but I'll take the spread of -12 over on my bookie. And that is not a bad payout, -105 odds. The money line is absurd, though. -795. Like, you're barely getting anything from that. So the last game of the NBA slate tonight, short slate, we have the Spurs 6-13, 2-7 on the road, heading to Portland to take on the Trailblazers, who are 11-11 this year, but they are 10-1 at home. They love playing in Portland. That's what it comes down to. They stomped on their 3-game losing streak to the Jazz, Warriors, and Kings. They beat the Pistons, not the most exciting game. Damian Lillard is out. He's going to be out for at least 10 days with an abdomen injury. So right now, they're relying on guys like Nurkic. They're relying on, CJ McCollum. They're relying on Anthony Simons. All those guys. It's going to be a group effort here, kind of similar to Memphis, although we've seen McCollum can take over. He can be that guy when you need him to. So I like Portland here to win this game, and I like them to cover the -4.5 spread with minus 110 odds. Like the odds there. And I like the Spurs. I mean, they're not playing extremely well, but I like some of their players a ton. We already know I'm a big fan of Dejounte Murray, and I will definitely be playing him tonight in DFS. I like Keldon Johnson as well. But I'm definitely going to go with Portland and as the favorite here, -4.5. Portland gets the job done. And now we move over, guys. We're going to talk a little bit about the NFL. And we're going into the Thursday night football game. We got the Cowboys taking on the Saints, which over on MyBookie you can bet on right now. The Cowboys on the road, -7. They are the favorites here. That's a big spread there. We have the Saints who are starting a new quarterback. It is going to be Taysom Hill, not Trevor Siemian. Hopefully Terrence is still in here. He said, "Who Dat Nation?" and go Saints. So we are talking about the Saints. Look, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't feel overly great about Taysom Hill as a passer, but it'll be interesting to see how they use him. And I will say this, the Cowboys haven't played all that well on the road. They're 3-2. The Saints haven't played all that well at home. They're 2-3. So what's intriguing here is that the Cowboys are getting all of their receivers back. They're getting CeeDee Lamb. They're getting Amari Cooper. So they do have that going for them. I look at this game, right now the Cowboys are losers of 2 straight. And no, I don't think they're going to lose to the Saints. I think they'll beat the Saints. They destroyed the Falcons. But, they've lost 3 of the last 4 games after ripping off a huge winning streak. The Cowboys have scored 326 points on the season. They've really put together an offensive barrage at times, but you look at the Broncos game, 30-16 at home. They go on the road against the Chiefs, 19-9. They're back at home against the Raiders on Thanksgiving. They lose 36-33. That was an amazing game. They're going to beat the Saints, but the question is, with the Cowboys, do the Saints cover +7? That's the question. That is why that's a bet. This is a betting show. That is why. Cowboys will win. Fine, but will the Saints cover? And I look at the Cowboys, here are their win or loss margins. Buccaneers 2, Chargers 3, Eagles 20, Panthers 8. You have 24 for the Giants. You have 8 for the Patriots. Let's see here. You have 4 for the Vikings. You have 14 for the Broncos. You have 40 for the Falcons, 10 for the Chiefs, and 3 for the Raiders. Now, let's check out the Saints here. What are we normally with the Saints? Because the Saints defense, it didn't really show up against the Bills, and it didn't show up against the Eagles, but, it was 23-21 on the road against the Titans. It was 27-25 against the Falcons. They beat the Buccaneers. They held the Seahawks to 10 points. And they beat Washington 33-22. They lost to the Giants 27-21. They beat New England. This team beat New England. New England looks like the best team in the AFC right now. But that was a while ago, and Jameis Winston was at quarterback. So they've been through a lot. And now using Taysom Hill, he's going to start. Kamara's out. Whether it's, Mark Ingram, Tony Jones, whatever they try to do, I think Mark Ingram is going to be the starter. I'm going to lean Cowboys here, -7. I think the spread seems a little big because this could be a field goal game. Could be one of those ugly Thursday night football games, but I'm going to take the Cowboys -7. I feel like coming off a tough loss, coming off back-to-back losses, coming off 3 out of the last 4 games, losing that after ripping off a big winning streak. I think they have a lot to prove, and I think you can't really do a ton of that tonight, but you can do a little bit of it. I think the Cowboys win by 10. I'm looking at probably a 30-20 type of game against the Saints. The Saints will get things going with Taysom Hill. He's going to be able to run. He's going to be able to create. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of his. I don't think he is a true, NFL passer in this league, but, he is a little bit of a wild card. And, as long as, he's used the right way, he can be a problem for the Cowboys. Not to mention, while everyone wants to call Trayvon Diggs a defensive player of the year candidate, let's call it like it is, guys. He's kind of a liability when it comes to coverage. So, there's a chance that somebody, say like a Traquan Smith or a Marquez Callaway, somebody like that down the field could get open, could take advantage of that. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys -7, but, I wouldn't be surprised if the Saints do get that. I'm not going to touch that over 46. No, I'm not, because I really could see this going south, but I have it at 30-20, but I'm not confident in that, so I'm not going to hit the over there, and I'm not going to hit the under. So -7 for the Cowboys. Those are our picks. Now, to wrap things up here, just real quick, I'm going to go into prize picks. I'm going to give you some picks that I like. We'll start off on prize picks. I like that it's a 5-way flex play, and it's a 3-sport flex play. So hear me out when I say this. So Andrei Vasilevsky, over 29.5 goals, over 29.5 saves. I like that against the Blues. The Blues take they're top 10 in shots taken. Vasilevsky's one of the best goalies in all of hockey. So I'm going to take Vasilevsky to get at least 30 saves in that game. Dak Prescott over 23.5 pass completions. He's done it in just about every game. I'm going to take Dak there. Mitchell Robinson to go over 5.5 points. I think, he'll get at least 6. Nikola Vucevic, I was just telling you, he averages about 11 rebounds, 18 points per game against the Knicks in the 32 meetings. I'm going to take Vucevic over 10.5 rebounds. And then this one was relatively smaller than I thought. Lonzo Ball, 4.5 for the over on assists. Lonzo always gets that, or at least that. So I'm going to take 4.5. He just needs to get 5 assists against the Knicks tonight to get you that money. That game starts at 7:40. So if you want to check that out, definitely go on Prize Picks. Make sure you get those picks in. All these games start at 7:40. So yeah, you'd have that. Except the Vasilevsky game, if you want to get in on that, you want to get on this 3-sport parlay, then, Vasilevsky, that game starts in about 5 minutes. So you might want to hurry on that. Another flex play here, just NBA. I like CJ McCollum going over 42 fantasy score. He's going to be the mainstay. He's going to be the main guy, main offensive, focus there. Nurkic going over 36.5. Just needs to get 37. I think he does that against the Spurs. Dejounte Murray going over 42.5. Desmond Bane going over 26.5. And Vucevic going over 38. I feel pretty good about all those. Here's a 2-pick power play. If you win, you can get 4 times your money. It's just 2. You get them 2 right. That's it. Dak Prescott over 23.5 pass completions. Taysom Hill under 195.5 passing yards. I don't expect him to be throwing a ton. So with that, I like that play. And then lastly here, guys, if you want to copy this, I have a flex play, 5-player flex play here. Mitchell Robinson going over the 5.5 points. DeMar DeRozan going over 23.5 points. Nikola Vucevic going over 10.5 rebounds. Lonzo Ball going over 4.5 assists. And Evan Fournier going over 2 3-pointers made. So those are my prize picks there. And we did have a little bit of a change while I was checking on my phone here. We did have a change in something. The Knicks starting Emmanuel Mudiay. Emmanuel Quickly is actually officially going to start. RJ Barrett is out with an illness. So Quickly, who I liked before that announcement was made, I like him more now. He is going to be in the starting lineup. And there's about $100 left on that. But, finally, you guys can see the FanDuel lineup there if you guys want to check that out. But This is the NHL one, although you probably missed it. Those are my lineups, guys. Does anyone have any questions before I head on out of here? I'm happy to answer. I see there are some people in here. I'm happy to answer some questions that you guys may have. And if not, I'll be back tomorrow to do all this. Going to try to do this every night. We'll talk about, betting picks and all of that, and we'll keep track of them. Like I said yesterday, I felt really good. We hit 9 out of the 13 yesterday. So, again, felt really good about that. We're just trying to get better. Almost a 70% hit rate last night. We're just going to keep going through it. We're going to keep tallying it up. Going to keep track. If you guys played Kevin Porter Jr., there's not much I could do there. He got hurt in the second half and was well on his way to destroying that 34 over. But Dwayne Dedmon did very well. So there's that. So yeah. If no one has any questions, I think that's going to do it. I did just realize that I never got the ticker going with the plays of the day. So nice job on that. Oh well. Yeah, so that's going to do it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Again, wish you guys luck. Hope you win all the money. And we'll be back to do this all again tomorrow. And just be sure to give this a like if you enjoyed it. Be sure to share it around. Trying to get this thing going. Trying to get more interaction. Trying to get people interested in this. This is just one of many shows on this channel. So this is not what this channel has become. This is just everything. So for Jake Ellenbogen, this has been BOGEN'S Bets. You guys take care. And I'll see you guys soon.